Hello everyone, Catweazle here. Welcome to the channel and welcome back to our playthrough of Mansions of Madness 2nd edition and the scenario Rising Tide. We're just about to start episode 7, but before we do that I've got a small error to correct, and in order to tell you what I've got to correct, what we'll do is we'll zoom in on the message log for last turn and see exactly where I went wrong. And here's the message log from last episode, and it's the end of the Mythos phase. If you recall, a patch of deadly cold air blows around Joe Diamond, stealing his breath and cracking his joints. Joe Diamond suffers 2 damage and strength negates. Now he did manage to negate that, but the next sentence says, then he flips to horror face up. Doesn't say he gains 2 horror and then flips them face up. It just says he flips 2 horror face up. So that means if he's got 2 face down horror, he has to flip them face up. He only had 1, which is this one here. If you remember, after we finished in the Gilman Hotel, we just got 1 face down horror each for both Harvey and for Joe, and they had no say in the matter. So he's got 1 face down horror. We are going to have to flip that face up. So we will do that. And what have we got? Focus! Ooh, nyctophobia. You are not afraid of the darkness exactly, but you are afraid of what the darkness might be concealing. Ooh. Keep face up, so we keep it face up from now on. Whenever you end your turn in a space with darkness, suffer 1 face down horror. That is bad. Now, I don't think we've been in darkness since this happened. We were in the warehouse down here that's got darkness in, but I think when this actual Mythos phase took place, we had already left that actual warehouse, so that's not a problem. So we've got to keep this face up. We will have to avoid dark places because unfortunately Joe Diamond has only got 6 sanity, which is currently 5 because he's got a horror card, and well, we can't afford to keep getting face down horror cards. So what we're going to have to do is avoid darkness from now on. So there we are, we've corrected that. So I'll close the message log and we will resume the scenario, and here we are back at the scenario. So let's get into the investigator phase and see who is going to go first. And here we are at the investigator phase, and as you can see, our first player is going to be good old Harvey. So what's he going to do for his first action? Well, for his first action, I think we need to get chatting to Zadok. So we're going to go 1. Going to go 1 to here. Now, I do think we can step on here. Yeah. There is enough of a sort of, I think it abuts together that we can actually hop on to this part of the boat. So that's 1, 2. And he is going to chat to Zadok. So let's do that. Just press it, and up it comes. Zadok Allen leans on the prow of the boat, so we can say, hey Zadok, or have you noticed anything strange around here? I think we'll do the, let's cut to the chase, and this is obviously our second action. Zadok ignores you, his bloodshot eyes looking over the sea. Well, there are no action icons, so we can carry on. So, Zadok, you okay? Zadok looks at you with red-rimmed eyes. You hoped you look as sympathetic as you feel. Influence test, that's good. He's quite good at influence, is Harv, and he's also got a lot of clues. His influence is 4. So we want 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, and let's go for it. Oh, but we have got 3 clue tokens, symbols. We are going to spend all 3. That puts him down to a single clue, but you know what? I think we need to succeed, and succeed well at this particular test. 1, 2, 3, confirm. Lot on my mind. What was it you needed again? Have you I asked if you were okay, we didn't, so we've got to go with, have you noticed anything strange around here? You should get out of here, not safe for anyone anymore. Continue. That's a bit of a blow, really. I wanted a bit more than that. I was hoping for some information. So we spent 3 clues there for pretty much zilcho. But never mind. Right, so obviously that is it for our friend Harvey. So next up, it will be Joe Diamond. And here we are with Joe. So for his first action, he's going to move. He's going to spend 1 movement point. And yes, he's going to talk to Joyce. Joyce Little is curled up in a shabby armchair reading a huge book. So our options here are tell Joyce about the water damage book, ask Joyce what she is reading, or third choice, have you noticed anything strange going on here? And then we've got to cancel if we don't want to spend the action. We are going to spend the action. I think what we'll do is we'll tell her about the water damage book. Get on a good side. I think she'll want to know about it, so let's just press that. What? How did one of my... She leaps up looking worried. Pardon me, I must see this book immediately. Continue. Discard the search token on the street corner. Ah, that's how we get rid of it. Ah, ha ha ha. So there we go. Somebody made a comment in the comments, funnily enough, so this is probably what they meant. And move Joyce Little as indicated. So she's gone out to save the book. Let's move that off the board. But what it also does is it means she's not in here anymore. And we've got these dodgy books. So let's continue. Right, that's it. Now, we've done our 2 actions for good old Joe, but he still has 1 movement point left, remember? So he's going to trot back here. And hopefully we're not going to run out of time, because that is it for the Investigator phase. So next up is the Mythos phase. And here we are at the Mythos phase, so let's press this, and the Investigator phase, Mythos phase. The air begins to shimmer with heat. The shimmer becomes a glow, enveloping Joe Diamond. What's going on? Joe's getting all the bad stuff. Joe Diamond suffers 3 face-down damage. Observation negates, and then he's got to flip 3 damage face up. That is... God, that's really tough. Right, his observation's rubbish as well. It's only 3. But he does have 2 clues. So it's getting a bit rough for Joe. 3 successes. Oh yes, I rock. Didn't even have to spend a clue. Oh yeah. And we're into the Investigator phase. Okay, let's move into the next turn. Testing, testing, testing. Has it been fixed? Has it been fixed? Hello everyone, I'm back at the Investigator phase. Well, it's a good job I load these up a turn at a time and then sort of produce an episode. I do not know what went wrong with the camera during the first turn. I've just done a complete reset on the camera and a quick test, and it appears to be working fine now. But I'm obviously going to have to keep an eye on it, because it may be that the camera is just becoming you know, it's just coming to the end of its useful life. It is a few years old. I suppose I should buy a new one. But we'll see if it can stagger on a bit longer. It's a bit unfortunate that we're playing an app-driven game, because otherwise what I'd have probably done is I would have totally refilmed what just happened. But we can't do that because it's an app-driven game. So apologies for the disco lighting at the start of episode 8. Hopefully everything's fine now, and we'll get to the end of this episode with no more fun and games. So apologies for that. I will keep it in. If it really annoys people, again, I apologise, but it's the only way that you are going to see that particular turn. We cannot go back. Psychedelic start to episode 8. Hopefully it will be fine from now on. Okay, we're in the investigator phase. Who is going to go first? Well, I think Joe is going to go first, so let's get down to Warehouse 6. And here we are with Joe. Obviously, while Joyce has gone rescuing that book, we're going to have a look at this creepy bookshelf. So, his first action, let's give him his actions. There we go. So, his first action is to have a look at this bookshelf. So, let's press this again. The shelf contains books with odd symbols on their spines, yes, and our second action is... oh no, it's our action now. Oh, nearly dipping myself out of an action again. Search. You notice a ribbon bookmark in one of the books. Pulling it out carefully, you flip it open to the marked page. A sheet of paper has been tucked neatly away. Gain the Flesh Ward spell, then discard this search token. So let's get the spells. I've got them all split. As mentioned, you get about 5 of each. So we'll give them a quick shuffle, drop them all over the shop. And then let's just pick one. Pick the second from the bottom. Right. So let's have a look. We haven't actually casted a spell yet. Action. You or another investigator within range can discard 1 damage. Then flip this card. Right, so we'll give that to Joe, but we may have to trade that away. It's probably better that that is with Harvey. Okay, so we've done that. Continue. And we can get rid of this search token. Nothing too major. And again, we haven't found anything really that is, well, going to help us that much. So what's he going to do for his final action? Well, for his final action, let's see how much we can find out. So he'll move. That'll be 1, 2 to here. 1, 2 to there. We'll move here. So put him in here. Put that back there. And he may be able to get to this chap here. Right, so that is it for Joe Diamond. Next up is Harvey Walters. And here we are with Harvey. So he's going to spend one of his actions, and he's actually going to go here. So back in here with this search token, and he's going to use his second action. Remember, he still has a movement point. And, oh, not the one I've just put away, his second action. He's going to spend a second action to actually search this token. A wet sack slumps on the dock. Let's search it. It's probably a load of fish. Dozens of dead eyes stare up at you, mouths gaping upward. Yeah, the fish. The stench of the slimy grey skin revolts you. Flip 1 horror face up. Ah! So he's got a horror. Here it is. So let's see what he gets. He is startled. You bet he's startled. You stagger backward in alarm. Resolve immediately. No effect. Discard this card. Oh, great. So at least he managed to get rid of his. So we'll discard that. Okay. So what's the rest of this? Under all the fish bodies, you find something interesting. Gain the kerosene lantern common item. Then discard this search token. Kerosene lantern. Right, let's dig that out. Under K. There it is. So here is the kerosene lantern. It's a light source. You may discard this card to convert all clue symbols to elder signs while attacking unharmed. I suppose that is just throwing the kerosene lantern at whatever it is. But it might be good to give this to Joe because of his nyctophobia. So we'll put that there. So when we have a trade, we'll probably trade the kerosene lantern for Flesh Ward. I think that'll be a good idea. So let's press continue. And we can get rid of that. Right, so he's got one movement point left, so we'll move him to here. I didn't bother going into the wheelhouse or whatever it is here because I think Zadok could have just started complaining, so sod it. We might try and speak to, he's just out of shot, but there's that guy in the shack. We might try and speak to him, and Joe might try and speak to that fisherman. Other than that, we're in, well, we'll be lucky actually. I have a feeling that night is going to fall. So let's find out. We may as well stay where we are, and let's just get straight into the Mythos phase. So press this, end the Investigator phase, confirm, and it's the Mythos phase. Your hand suddenly begins to burn. This Mythos event affects the Investigator who has a light source with the lowest observation. Well, there's only one of us with a light source, and that is Harvey, because he's just picked one up. So we've got to resolve the event, so we'll probably end up dropping it. The fire from your light has spread to your hand. Dun, dun, dun. You instinctively drop what you are holding and clutch your wounded hand. Now, we had something like this before, and a lot of people said I shouldn't have actually dropped the item, but I'm sure that just sounds to me like we dropped the item. So the kerosene lamp gets dropped. Suffer 2 face down damage and drop one random light source. Well, we only have the one, so we've got to drop it. Before you realise it, the fire has spread all around you. Place fire in your space and each adjacent space. Bloody hell, this is awful. It's not even giving us a chance. Night is coming. You will not be able to conduct your investigation in the dark. It might be wise to review any evidence you have gathered during the day. No immediate effect. Well, this is awful. So we're going to get a load of fire damage. So we're actually stood here though, so it's just there, and there has got fire in it. We get 2 face down damage. Cut. So 1, 2 to the Investigator who has got the worst stamina, who is Harvey. So he's only got 3 stamina left. I don't think we'll be able to finish this. I think it's just bad news. Okay, so we've done that. Just make sure I got everything. Let's just have a look at the message log. Right. Yep, we got 2 face down damage. We dropped the light source and we put the fire in those areas. Yep, so we got everything. Cool. Resume scenario. That is it for the Mythos phase. So I'll go and upload this and then we will be back with the Investigator phase. And here we are at the Investigator phase, where we're in a bit of a pickle, especially with Harvey and the amount of damage that he's got. Now, fire damage, that's going to affect us when we move into an area that has got fire in it. So at the moment, he's not getting any fire damage, but he will do. So let's do Harvey first. So Harvey is going to be our first player. Let's zoom in. Here we are with Harvey. Now, I was going to have Harvey talk to this chap, but with the fire knocking around, well, perhaps not. So I think what he's going to do is, let's give him his 2 actions. And his first action, he is going to pick up the kerosene lantern. So he does that for his first action. For his second action, he is going to move. So he moves into here. That has fire in it. So he has to take one more face down damage. He has got 3 damage. Let's do a cut. And there we go. He's got another damage. He has 2 health left. That is pretty grim. And he's going to use his second action. Is obviously he's moved 1, and he's still got a movement point left. That is right. So he's going to move here onto the beach. So that is Harvey's movement. He only took the 1 damage from the fire because he only moved into 1 space that actually had fire in it. Unfortunately, we won't get to chat to this guy, but we've got to find some way of getting his health back up. We do have the Flesh Ward spell now. Anyway, that's it for Harvey. Next up is Joe Diamond. And here we are with Joe. So, for his first action, he's actually going to use the medical textbook. So let's have a read of it. Remember, we've had this since the beginning. So it's equipment, action. You or another investigator within range may discard 1 face down damage. He is within range of Harvey. So Harvey is going to discard one of his 3 face down damage. So hopefully we'll be getting rid of a really bad one. And we'll take that one. So he discards that. And he's only got 2 left. Now, do we use the medical textbook again? I rather think, can we use it again? It's got an action on it. We didn't have to discard it or anything. We're going to use the medical textbook again. And he is within range. 3 is range, and he's only 1 away. So we're going to use that again. And we're going to get rid of another one of these. We've got to get rid of this stamina damage, I think. So we'll pick that one. That one gets discarded. So he's got 1 face down damage remaining. Unfortunately, that means we haven't got a whole lot done this turn. We haven't, like, really, you know, put forward any of our investigation. We haven't moved it on whatsoever. But yes, that rather nasty Mythos phase did for us. So that is it for the Investigator phase. And talking of nasty Mythos phases, that's next. So we may as well stay here. So next up is the Mythos phase. And the Investigator phase, confirm. The fire spreads out of control. Place fire in a space adjacent to a space containing fire. Now that's only 1 fire token. We only have to place 1, and we're going to place it over here. Yeah, because obviously we don't want Harvey getting a load of fire on him anymore. So the fire has spread. And you hurry back to the Gilman house to go over your information that you found during the 2nd day. Clear the board. When you sleep, you have nightmares of the sea. Each investigator suffers 2 face down horror. We're really going to struggle here. So we get 2 face down horror. I bet at the end of the 3rd day it's 3 face down horror. What's the betting? So let's do Harvey first. 1, 2, 3. He gets the top 3. And 1, 2. Oh no, it's 2 face down horror. Blimey. So top 2. Nearly did myself there, and the top 2 there. So unfortunately we have got 2 face down horror for Joe and 1 face up horror for Joe. We've got 2 face down horror for Harvey and 1 face down damage. So yeah, we're in trouble, baby. Let's continue. Right, dawn of the 3rd day. There is still time to uncover the truth. Where will you continue the investigation? So my plan was docks, then downtown, then the residential area. So we're going to go downtown. The clustered buildings downtown are nothing more than silhouettes through the fog. Place the street corner 3 tile, the storefront tile and the alley 1 tiles as indicated. What I'll do, just before we continue there, let's have a look at our incriminating evidence. Oh, it won't let us. Don't forget that. Even downtown Innsmouth is quiet, each sound muted and sedate. Place your investigator figures as indicated. We'll do that. There appears to be something in one of the discarded barrels. Place a search token as indicated. Aging brick buildings line the streets, their doors closed and windowless. Place explore tokens as indicated. The streets are consumed in the heavy fog. Place site tokens as indicated. Right, I'll set that up shortly. But first of all, yeah, we want to check our incriminating evidence. In fact, let's zoom in, won't be a second. Right, so here we are. So, do we know anything more about Zadok? Zadok is one of your suspects. He appears to be something of the town drunk. We knew that. When you talked to him on his boat, Zadok warned you to leave Innsmouth. And that's it. Detective Blake, I don't think we'll have heard anything more about him. Victor Blake, better known as Detective Blake, is a detective working in Innsmouth. He does not seem to like strangers. Detective Blake has an office downtown, so we might bump into him now, and lives across the street from Gilman. And Bobby Foster. Bobby is one of your suspects. He's a writer and fellow visitor to Innsmouth. According to Gilman, Bobby can be found downtown or at the docks. We found him at the docks. Zadok says Bobby Foster talked to Miss Marsh, though Miss Marsh rarely talks to outsiders. Bobby said he has a feeling that something important is happening at the docks. That's it. So, other suspects. Athera Gilman. Gilman is one of your suspects. She is the proprietor of the Gilman House, the hotel at which you were staying. Gilman can be found in the residential area. Joyce Little. We might have a bit more about her. Joyce is one of your suspects. She seems more absorbed in her books than she does in her surroundings. Oh, that were it. And Sylvia Marsh. Guilty! Sylvia Marsh is one of your suspects. She descends from the Marsh family, an important family in Innsmouth. Miss Marsh lives next to Gilman. She can be found in the residential area. Zadok says Bobby Foster talked to Miss Marsh, though Miss Marsh rarely talks to outsiders. Brilliant. How little do we know? We know next to nothing. We're just about to start our 3rd day. Righto. So I think we will leave it there. Just get rid of that. Cancel. Right. We'll leave it there. I'll set this up for next turn and we'll start next turn in downtown. I hope that you have enjoyed episode 8, despite the disco light show at the beginning of the episode. I do apologise about that. The camera just went on the fritz, and because it's an app-based board game, the only way that you can see the start of that turn is to put up with the light show, I'm afraid. Sorry about that. Hopefully we'll be fine from now on. Yes, so not much happened in that episode apart from the kerosene lamp. And yeah, that was unfortunate because it meant we couldn't actually talk to any residents. We just basically had to heal Harvey, and now we're really going to struggle, I think. Really going to struggle unless we can find something out. We are not learning enough about what is going on in Innsmouth. We are rubbish. So yeah, that's a bad episode. I don't think we've got much done. I think we've gone backwards. So we're going to have to step it up next time. So thank you so much for watching. Thanks for all the subscriptions, for all the views, for all the likes, for all the dislikes. Thank you for all the help and support. If you've noticed any errors, as usual, just give me a shout and we'll see what we can do. If I can fix it, I will. Thanks to everybody who's gone to Board Game Links to upvote the site, and thank you to everybody on BGG who has liked the videos or made a comment over there. Thank you so much. So, I hope you join me for turn 9, well, episode 9 of Mansions of Madness, 2nd edition, and Rising Tide. But until then, this is me, Catweazle, signing off. Toodaloo.